Wait a second. It's all rage bait? Always has been.
The great army of NPCs has been activated.
Look at me! Look at me! I am the Little Mermaid now.
Understanding the Little Mermaid controversy is a complex and physically demanding endeavor. With my highly evolved intellect and high metachlorian count, I can decipher for you the cryptic and culturally controversial Little Mermaid backlash. You gotta really understand what's being put into people's heads in front of their faces that's getting them so worked up emotionally.
It all started when the live-action Little Mermaid got 1 million dislikes on YouTube.
What is this meaning of this blasphemy against this corporate turd? If you have any sort of qualms with this film, you are an istophobic, alt-right, Nazi troll.
Little Mermaid live-action trailer flooded with racist YouTube comments, downvotes. Blatantly racist comments and over 1 million estimated dislikes have been lobbied at the teaser trailer for the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid.
Well, let's go see what these racists have to say.
Pick your ass right over to Ground Zero. Read these racist comments for yourself.
I love the part where Ariel said, "Game over, man. Game over."
The part where Ariel's father made a speech and asked everyone,
"Do you want the little war?"
is by far the best scene in this movie. Goosebumps.
Loved it when Ariel says, "Can you stop with the negative waves, Moriarty?" Amazing.
It just goes on and on like this. This is the line of commenting that triggered the insinuation of racism. What started as this harmless Hollywood and decay comment trope meme raid got rebranded and strawmanned. The corporate propaganda machine strawmanned this harmless backlash into a jihad against the racist scarecrow. One of the best examples of this is one of the Rage Beatty articles written by none other than Vox. According to this Vox article, The Lord of the Rings
of Power first drew widespread anger from fans because it cast black and Asian actors as characters across the spectrum of fictional Middle-earth races. This is the same cycle of backlash that plays out when any beloved story gets rebooted, or in the case of Tolkien's The Silmarillion, adapted the film for the first time.
This is a blatant lie. This was not the Silmarillion. Rings of Power. Amazon has zero rights over the Silmarillion. How could they possibly have remade the Silmarillion if they have no rights for it? This is where the article is completely wrong. Rings of Power is not the Silmarillion. In fact, the problem that arose between the fandom and the Rings of Power is clearly that it's not the Silmarillion. The problem is that it had nothing to do with anything ever written from the holy word of none other than the prophet Tolkien himself, and played off as some apocryphal composite that should be taken and ingested as if it were canonical itself. That was the original contention, you swine. This is not journalism, this is rage-baiting propaganda. This article didn't even come close to adequately portraying the truth. Instead, it draped itself in the veneer of moral superiority and called anybody who criticized the woke propaganda an istophobic Chad man-baby racist. Like, if you're actually paying attention to what's going on and not just glazing over all of the rage-baity headlines from the massive liberal corporate elitist propaganda machines, they are the ones creating this fake outrage. Just go on Facebook or Twitter. There's nothing but supportive, positive comments, but endless posts by NPCs decrying the fake outrage against racists. If you could even find any contenders, the most vicious contention anyone could come up with, or even deem racist, is that people are pointing out the fact that Ariel, for the last 30 years, has been depicted as a red-haired, white-skinned teenage female, and suddenly, during the age of woke race-baiting propaganda, Disney produces its first BIPOC Afro mermaid, blackwashing erasure of the 30 years of traditional Ariel iconography. But merely pointing this out makes you an istophobic Nazi super MAGA troll.
So respectable fanatics who have followed the pop culture pantheon from its tuition are now losing faith in these institutions to produce adequate mythologies. So when this trailer was released, it was of course met with some sort of critical acclaim in the form of dislikes.
The whole backlash that led to the 1 million dislikes was based on something so harmless and hollow as the Hollywood in Decay comment trope meme. The standard by which anything that the woke cultists consider to be racist is so thin that it can't even be cut by a fucking laser. NPCs suddenly have collective amnesia and are acting like this is the first BIPOC strong female LGBTQIAP woman of color on screen ever. Mermaids should only play mermaid characters. She's taking away lead roles that disenfranchised mermaid actors could have otherwise played themselves. The correct nomenclature is mer-person, you fucking racist.
The real controversy is nothing but pure rage bait. This is not racism. This is criticism. According to NPCs, anybody who is black, Latinx, Asian, or LGBTQ are the chosen ones. They are the chosen tribe of Israel. And any affront to these groups, whether it be criticism or the triggering of 2 million downvotes, is an activating event. They will be triggered, and they will fucking call you a racist, phobic, Nazi Chad man baby.
Even if all you did was post a Mel Gibson, Martin Luther King, or write a Hollywood in Decay comment trope meme.
Of course, the cabal of cultural constructivists began devising their machines for screwing around with the NPC brain.
The headlines were used to manufacture the giant racist scarecrow in the sky.
Soy boy legions were brought out of hiding, cat ladies.
Here's why Halle Bailey as Ariel is fantastic and you're just racist.
The straw man must be taken out of the basement, dusted off, and set to work. So they could do what NPCs do best, hallucinating racists out of thin air. This is coming from the same crowd as smooth-brained NPC brainwashed sheep who were offended at James Franco being cast as Fidel Castro in the upcoming film. Leftists wig out all the time over whitewashing, calling it Latino exclusionism. The only real scandal here is the leakage of hyperreal images of the racists, the disillusion of social media into life, and the dissolution of life into social media. There is no origin of this reality. There is no racist backlash. The simulation of outrage against the fake threat of racism. There's nothing more pathetic than soy boys crying like little babies over nothing. There's nobody to really argue with. They're only arguing with themselves.
Cross-continental collective woke circle jerk. We all know that anybody who says anything remotely racist gets instantly blocked and canceled from Twitter, Facebook, or any of the larger algorithmic mediated forms of media. So we can't even verify that there's anything even being said because free speech is dead. If you say anything that could be interpreted as racist, it's instantly gone, vanishes into thin air.
This is the actual straw man. This is the battle of the straw man. They have no real contenders in their little Twitter universe. Any criticism is seen as a direct affront to BIPOC Afro mermaids. You're being manipulated, you NPC sheep. I gotta get out of here. It's time to work, okay?